Chapter 34, End of the Line. End of Episode 7.
Who got the dossier?
Luigi asked eagerly, seeing them all enter the restaurant.
We burned it,
Toadette told him.
That's good. Wait, what?
Luigi said.
Me, and Toadette, and the both of us, not you, because you decided to sacrifice 50,000 coins, decided to burn the dossier for the sake of the game. 50,000 coins remains in the team pot,
concluded McAliboo.
The mole's dossier has been destroyed, and so has your chance at discovering who the mole is. This was officially your last challenge. So congratulations.
He looked at Luigi.
Luigi, would you have looked at the dossier if you were outside with us? Seeing what the other two did, no,
said Luigi.
I would have never. Toadette, why did you want to burn the dossier instead of looking at it? Nobody should look at the dossier,
said Toadette.
Even if there was no money at risk, nobody should play unfair. Blooper,
said McAliboo.
Why did you burn the dossier? Didn't you want to know what it contained? To be honest,
Blooper said in a strange tone,
I'm pretty sure I know who the mole is. But you looked hesitant in what you did. When you see the dossier in front of you, you see either a lot of money, or fire. You just can't think. We're happy with what we did,
Toadette concluded.
Luigi, would you like to apologize to your fellow teammates for nearly sacrificing 1/5 of the team pot?
Luigi laughed, and then hung his head.
I'm sorry,
he said in a humble manner.
Good job,
said Blooper.
But I guess we'll forgive you. Well, shall we get going?
Said McAliboo.
The train is arriving at the station in approximately 1 hour. I got your bags and personal belongings from the hotel while you were eating, so everything you've brought on this trip will all be on the train. Let's go now.
The players got up and left the restaurant. In separate vehicles, they were brought back to the train station. All 3 vehicles arrived at the same time. At the top of the stairs on the platform of the station was McAliboo, waiting patiently for the 3 of them. First, there were 9 players who met at the top of Cliff Springs and worked as a team, not knowing who to trust. One by one, they fell victim. Now, there are 3, Luigi, Toadette, and Blooper. The journey nears its end. Here in this old train station, all 3 players will be boarding the 9 o'clock train. The final battle will determine who will win. It will also determine which player would meet their unfortunate end. But most of all, it will finally tell us the answer to the long-awaited question. Who is the mole?
Welcome players,
said the host in his grandest voice.
Here we are.
They all nodded.
When the train arrives, you will each be locked into your own separate passenger car. Luigi, you will enter the first one. Toadette, the middle car. Blooper, the last car of the train. You will have approximately 2 hours to finish your quiz of 20 questions about the mole, and how much you know about them. I will warn you that this quiz is extremely difficult, more difficult than any other quiz you have taken before in this game. Any questions?
The 3 of them shook their heads lightly. After a few minutes, the sound of the train was heard in the distance. As it came closer, the players grew even more anxious, standing in their assigned positions at the edge of the platform for the arriving train. The exterior of the train remained torn and aged, and the front of the train remained untouched. But the interior of each car was reconstructed for this special occasion. The train made its stop in front of the players with a loud and repulsive screech. Luigi looked at his doors with apprehension, his legs shaking. Toadette breathed heavily and faced forwards. Blooper stood still, his tentacles folded. All train doors opened at the same time automatically.
"The train is here," said Macaliboo. "You may now enter your compartments."
At the same time, they all entered their cars. Luigi sat down in front of his laptop, his fingers moving with anticipation. He pressed the power button on his laptop. "Luigi, I feel sorry for all the people who never made it to this point. I feel extremely sorry for Daisy, and for Lucky too, and for every executed player in this game. Sometimes I think that it's just not fair. But I guess it really doesn't matter who makes it to the final three. As long as you share the winner's happiness is all that counts, right, Mario?" Toadette sat down in front of her laptop, sighing and feeling tired. She turned on the laptop. "Toadette, I want this to be over, so I'm extremely happy that this is the end. I came here to discover what I can do, and I have already. If the game ends with me not being the winner, I can accept that. I'm already a winner in my opinion. But above all, I think I'm finally ready to go back home." Blooper sat in front of his laptop and looked at the screen. Stressed, but calm, he was ready to take the quiz. "Blooper, I find it strange, finding myself a little sad. It's been a lot of adventure, a lot of fun, a lot of stress, excitement, but most of all I'm just going to miss this game. Would I do it again? Of course. Would I do it differently? Probably so." The train doors slid closed.
"Now there is truly a traitor aboard,"
Macaliboo called out loud.
"And at the end of this trip, one of you will be the winner of 240,000 coins. Good luck to all of you."
He hopped onto the front of the train and grabbed on. The smoke arising from the front of the train increased even more as the train proceeded to its next destination. The horn blared, and the train carrying the 3 surviving players left from the station. Blooper started his quiz. 1. Meeting at Cliff Springs. Which helicopter did the mole arrive in? First. Second. Third. Fourth. Fifth. Sixth. Seventh. Blooper, one of us is the mole. I'm pretty sure it's Toadette. She is smart. And she's the youngest player here, which makes people think twice before suspecting her. Luigi, I had suspicions of Toadette early on, but I disregarded them quite quickly. Maybe it's because of how well we've all become good friends. 2. Which of these 2 objects were in the mole's bag during the baggage challenge? Jewelry and tennis racket. Books and a journal. Overalls and a cap. Deodorant and black t-shirt. Hats and shoes. Blanket and magazines. Blooper: I think Toadette did her first flaw selecting our bags in the baggage challenge. She completely messed up by switching my bag with Rock Hawk's. Everyone knows that I absolutely don't wear pants. Not to mention that deodorant is almost a useless object for me to bring on a trip. So she could be the mole. Luigi: she makes silly but determined mistakes that have cost us money. All her sabotage is direct, like when she walked into the Clue house and quit McAlibu's funhouse. I think she is a small, yet visible mole. 3. In the jail escape challenge, how many people were brought into the police station before the mole? None. 2. 3. 4. 5. Toadette: it's unlikely that Luigi is the mole, but he's done a lot of sabotage in this game. He's very open and he's never shy to express what's on his mind. But sometimes I think he acts genuine just to make you forget that he could be the mole. Blooper: Luigi is a great candidate for the mole. His anxiety for the executions, his nervousness during games. What a great cover for being the saboteur. If I were the mole, I would follow directly in his footsteps. 4. Which way did the mole rotate the table in the accustomed/acquired challenge? Left. Right. Toadette: in the Journey of Completion challenge, he claimed at the Japanese restaurant that he loved sushi. But when we finally had to eat it, he had the hardest time out of all of us swallowing the food. I thought that was a little suspicious. Blooper: Luigi wouldn't have to worry about people suspecting him when he sabotaged in the cliff springs, because in the beginning, everyone is saying to themselves,
"Oh, the mole would never sabotage in the first game. Luigi is just pretending to be the mole."
In my opinion, that would be the smartest move ever. 5. When did the mole reach the hostage in the hostage rescue challenge? Less than an hour. More than an hour. The mole did not reach the hostage under 2 hours. The mole was the hostage. Toadette: I'll be a little surprised if Luigi turns out to be the mole, because I think he's too kind and genuine of a player. Blooper: Luigi can turn out to be the mole in my book. I'll be shocked if he is though. He's almost the perfect mole. 6. When did the mole jump into the moat in the Bell of Endurance challenge? First. Second. Third/fourth. Fifth. Toadette: this far into the game, I believe Blooper is the mole. He pretends to be competitive and arrogant, and he always begins the arguments in our challenges. The mole wants the team to break down and point fingers at each other. Luigi: Blooper can definitely be the mole because he's done a lot of subtle sabotage. He lost the key in the Bell of Endurance challenge, and what surprised me most was that he didn't take the blame. For some odd reason, he began blaming the others, which didn't make any sense whatsoever. I think he wants people to be so focused on him so much as an opponent that they completely disregard him as being the mole. 7. In the exhibit and Koopa spelling challenges, which phrase applies to the mole the best? Helped win. Came up with the idea. Constructed. Was not active. Luigi, during the Koopa spelling game, when he gave Lakitu his jacket, it made Lakitu clap, which shut off the Mecha Koopas. We all thought it was just some amazing occurrence. But I believe there was something unusual in the jacket that he had given to Lakitu. Toadette, when Blooper had to pick out our work of art from the museum, he eliminated the television. I thought that was strange, because after evaluating 4 previous works of art and considering each of those to be the one we had created, he finally went up to our piece of work and completely ignored it. It just so happened that the one he had eliminated was the correct one. 8. In the Craps Challenge, did Birdo predict the mole would succeed in their dare? Yes. No. Toadette, the more I think of the possibility of Blooper being the mole, the more I think it might be true. Luigi, as much as I like Blooper, he's done too many subtle things throughout this game that many of us simply ignore. If he's the mole, he's done an incredible job. 9. Which book did the mole have to find in the Board the Train challenge? Winnie the Pooh. To Kill a Mockingbird. Minus 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Blooper, I couldn't find out the reason for Luigi to abandon Birdo during the train game. Poor Birdo had to discover the riddle by herself, and it was a miracle that we had won the challenge. Luigi left Birdo because, according to him, he wanted to make sure the train wouldn't leave. It didn't make any sense. 10. In the 3 questions challenge, in which door number was the mole located? Door 13. Door 27. Door 28. Luigi, during the 3 questions game, Blooper said he would give antivenom to me instead of Toadette. The thing that bothered us was that Toadette would easily succumb to the snake bite first. And he would rather save a male rather than a female? Either Blooper has no moral ethics, or he answered that question wrong on purpose for us to mess up on. The train blared its horn. All 3 players had mistaken it as a sign of approaching the station. But as they all looked out the window, they saw instead the calm waters of an ocean. Very briefly, a mother and her daughter were seen waving at the passing train, smiling happily. Only the mole took the time to enjoy the scenery, realizing that their lives would return back to normal after the game was over. 11. What did the mole do in the Sell and Laugh challenge? Picked out items. Sold items. Made people laugh. Toadette, when Luigi was videotaping for the laughing part of the Sell and Laugh game, he broke the rules by making his video camera visible. When we were shown the footage of his recording, it looked as if Luigi made no attempt to hide the camera from the little Koopa Troopa. It could have been accidental, but it was the perfect position for sabotage. Blooper: Toadette picked ridiculous tools for us to sell during the Sell and Laugh challenge, and so we ended up either not selling them or selling them for incredibly cheap. I think she might have manipulated Peach a little bit while they were both choosing things from the market. 12. Did the mole participate in a solo game during the journey of completion? Yes. No. Toadette: when we had to choose a tool for the lumberjack game, Blooper was the first one to suggest the one-handed saw. The way Blooper insisted to use the one-handed saw made me believe that he knew beforehand that the game would be impossible. 13. Where did the mole sleep in McAlibu's funhouse? The kitchen. The basement. The conservatory. Blooper: Toadette chose to quit her room in McAlibu's funhouse, sacrificing 40,000 coins. That was obviously sabotage, and very directly done. Luigi: did Blooper know that Toadette quit her room? If he did, then it would make sense for him to try and look innocent by staying in the basement for the night, because at that point, the money was already lost. 14. On the ferry in episode 3, did the mole play at the arcade? Yes. No. Toadette: on the ferry, Daisy told me all about how she trusted Luigi and that he was too sweet to be the mole. That night, she was executed. Could she have not voted for Luigi, and gotten eliminated because of it? Luigi: perhaps Peach decided that Toadette was the mole. She did tell me once that she thought that Toadette could be the mole. Maybe that's how she was able to survive so long into the game. 15. In the laundry race challenge, which places were the mole at? Around town and at the arcade. In the bank and at the laundromat. The mole was at the laundromat for the entire game. Toadette: when I was trying to stop the others from finishing the laundry, Blooper was the only one who tried to prevent me from doing anything. I think that was one of his failed yet heaviest act of sabotage. Blooper: the faster we went, the closer we got to losing the challenge. There was Luigi, answering the questions at the laundromat quicker than any of us and making us finish the laundry as fast as we could. It was something incredibly suspicious that none of us took notice of until after the game was over. 16. How much did the mole bid in exemption temptation? Minus 10,000 coins. Minus 15,000 coins. Minus 20,000 coins. Minus 25,000 coins. Minus 30,000 coins. minus 50,000 coins. Toadette, when we had to decide whether to keep or burn the dossier, Blooper tried to persuade me to read it at first. When he saw that I wasn't falling for it, he suddenly changed to my side and agreed to burn it. Blooper, I think Luigi should take the most blame for our last test. He risked 50,000 coins, which is more than any other previous challenge. If you were the mole, you would want to outbid everyone else at least. Plus, he was the last to bid, so he was probably aware of our offers. Luigi, both Blooper and Toadette could have read the dossier, so that points at the two of them. The mole doesn't need the dossier. 17. Which kind of sibling does the mole have? A brother. A sister. The mole is an only child. Luigi, I want Toadette to win if I can't. Not only do I not need the money, but it's been wonderful playing this game. She's going to become a great doctor, and helping her sister through college will make her a great sister. 18. Has the mole received an exemption to date? Yes. No. Toadette, if I don't win, it'll teach me that experience never comes with an award. If that happens, I want Luigi to finally prove to Mario that he's a winner. I can never imagine Luigi being the mole, so I'm sure he'll be the winner if I don't win. 19. How many times has the mole's name been called during the executions? Twice. 4 times. 5 times. Blooper, deep down, I want us all to win. But we just can't. I guess this game will end by determining which person is which. There has to be one winner, and one loser. There isn't any other way for this game to end. 20. Who is the mole? Luigi. Toadette. Blooper. It was 11 o'clock at night. The moon glimmered brighter than it had at their departure when the train arrived at the station, the sound of its chugging slowing down and its wheels screeching its way slowly to a complete stop. The train let out its last sound. Choo-choo. As the smoke disappeared, McAliboo jumped off the front of the train, grabbing the conductor's remote as he dropped onto the platform. His fingers went carefully over the 3 buttons that jutted out from the mechanical object he was holding.
You've all finished your quizzes, he said out loud. Your scores have all been tabulated, and we have a winner. The winner is the player who answered the most questions correctly on this quiz. When I tell you to, stand in front of your car doors.
He held out the remote.
Once you are all in front of your doors, I will turn on only the sensor of the winner's doors. If your doors open up, you are the winner, and you have just won 240,000 coins.
He looked at the very first train car.
Luigi Mario. Are you ready? I'm ready, McAliboo. Please stand in front of your door.
Luigi got up and stood directly in front of his doors. He was excited yet nervous at the same time, waiting for his doors to open.
Toadette Toad. Are you ready? Yes, I am ready. Please stand in front of your door.
Toadette got up and walked over to her doors. She shivered and looked forwards, tired but determined to see her doors open.
Blooper Inky. Are you ready? I am ready for the results.
Blooper got up from his chair and took his stand in front of his doors. He folded his arms and took a deep breath, standing in front of his doors. He too was waiting for the opening of his doors. But only the sensors of one of the 3 cars would be able to function.
May the winner's door,
Macalibou shouted,
please open.
He pressed the middle button of the remote, and one of the cars of the train immediately opened up. Exposed to the night air and aware of their victory, the winner was overjoyed. To be continued. On the final episode of The Mole. All the previous executed players will be united to watch the unmasking of the mole. Birdo, Blooper is my choice for the mole. Rockhawk, Toadette's the mole. Lakitu, I just have to go with Luigi as my pick. All will be revealed of how the mole sabotaged the games, as well as the strategies of the winner and runner-up. We'll also uncover the hidden clues that may have helped you and the players discover the identity of the mole. Daisy, I knew that was a clue. One of these 3 players will be the winner of 240,000 coins. And one will finally be unmasked as the mole. Peach, oh my. Dupless, you've got to be kidding me. The poll is finally open. Take a look at the top of my profile and answer the question, who is the mole? Last chance to leave a review before the mole is revealed. It's all come down to these final 3. How well have you been watching the mole? Everything will be declared on the next update of the mole, Traitor aboard. End of chapter. Chapter 35, just a request. Poll request. Hey guys! It's almost time for the revealing of the mole, Traitor aboard. Well, maybe not almost. But I just want to say that thanks for all the readers and the great reviews you guys had submitted on this story. It's been too great, so I thank you all. I just want to say that I want the poll to be filled up as much as it could. So if you've read or have read this story up to this point, please feel free to vote on my poll, at the top of my profile. Even if you can't leave a review, just a vote would be awesome. Once I have at least 15 votes, the finale will be revealed. Thanks again. And remember, the mole is always watching you. The Mole, Saboteur's Island. End of chapter.